Welcome to my top-down photo shoot for toast. So what I'm going to start with is my little base. What I want to do is add a tile. This is a really nice surface as well, but it's not quite the look I'm going for. I want something a little bit more dark and moody. And then just a tile. Any tile will do. You can go to like your hardware store and just buy them in singles. That's even better. Now I have this beautiful surface that is not reflective. It's kind of matte and it's got plenty of texture. I will give it a quick wipe down. And then the next thing I like to do is just have all my props at the ready. So my plates, any little sauces. So these will be my props. We're going super minimalistic. I've got round plates that I'm going to be using. They're going to be white or a really light color to help contrast against our backdrop. This plate will be our hero. So that's the largest plate on the scene. So it demands more emphasis, which is why I'm plating everything up on here for my hero shot. In terms of location, I am going to pop it on the line of thirds. It's going to be on an intersect. And then these guys will be little supporting characters. So I kind of want this off to the side. Maybe this a little bit higher in that frame. And I want some empty space here so that if I need to add any text, I can. I want it to crop at the edge so this plate gets cut, and that way you know that it's not meant to be the hero in there as well. So this you see in its entirety, which is awesome. We are going to guide the eye into that space with the line created with our little spoon. I'm also going to add these little toothpicks in there as well. And then I'll start dressing up our plate to make it look really nice. So to do that, I am going to be using some balsamic vinegar. We're making a bruschetta today. So I'm just going to pour that into a little container, and I'm really going to control the flow of this with a little dropper. And you can buy these in bulk for really cheap. So I'm just going to draw kind of like a zigzaggy kind of line on my plate. Sort of a little something like this. It is touching the plate so that I can control the flow as much as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm pretty happy with that. Find the best looking texture on your bread. This is freshly toasted. I quite like these sides here. So, oh, no, that's okay. So in terms of position, notice the lines that you're using. So you've got this line coming in diagonally, this line coming in diagonally. Maybe we sort of continue that flow with a diagonal like this. Something like that I think could look nice. So we got these sort of lines that we're creating. If you need to adjust, just turn the plate if you need to. Next, we're going to add our hero here, which is that beautiful hummus. But rather than just slapping it on, what I wanted to do was pipe it on instead. So I'm going to pop it into a piping bag. Enter my cake decorating skills. And then we're going to pipe, maybe give it a bit of a practice run, see how you want it to look. I think, ooh, do I want to like, nah. I think I just want, oh, you know what? Let's go for like dollops. Ooh. Yeah, that could look nice. Couple of big ones, couple of small ones, just to add some interest. And I'll do the same with the other side. So just for balance, if you're going to have some small ones on one side, have tiny ones on the other side as well. Beautiful. I might just add a couple of teeny tiny ones here to fill in that space. I want to add just a little bit of color with some green. And so I've got my basil oil here that I'm going to use. And again, you can just grab a dropper for this. It is a little bit on the thicker side, so she might struggle a little to catch, but that's okay. We are just going to make maybe little drops here and there. Or you could even go for a bit of a line design as well, actually. I think I like that better. You could use drink syringes as well. I'm just going to go across, drizzling that on. Beautiful. I might even do just a couple of round dobs on the actual plate as well. That could look pretty. And how many you add is totally up to you. I think odd numbers do look nice. So maybe I'll just do one more just over here. Beautiful. Make that a little bit bigger maybe. Make that one a little bit bigger. So we have 3 different sizes. And each one, maybe this one here, a little bit bigger as well. This particular star tip that I've used has really added lots of texture. So shadows and highlights to our hummus. From there, I am going to add just a touch extra of color. I'm going to regret this, but I want to sprinkle it on with my hand because I can't really control it from the actual container there. And just a sprinkling directly on that hummus. Ooh, I actually really like the way that looks on the plate as well. So maybe just little specks on the plate. Might even add some color to my little saucer here. That's going to be filled with hummus as well. Going to add a touch of freshness with our basil leaves. I actually quite like the way that looks broken up. I'm going to add 3 because odd numbers just look nicer. I'm going to use that to sort of fill in that space over there. So be super strategic with where it is you place it. I want to fill in that pocket over there. And always try to go for super fresh ingredients. So let your basil be nice and green and plump. I'm going to fill this in. So it kind of tells the story of an antipasto. So we've got our beautiful hero plate here. We have our supporting little elements there. We're going to go ahead and take our first image. So because I'm shooting tethered, I am able to control my settings on the camera, so I don't have to touch my camera. There's no introduction of camera shake because of that. And I have my settings on shutter speed 50 because it's on a tripod and there's not going to be any motion blur. We have our aperture at 4.5 just to make sure everything's in focus. It is a flat lay, everything's pretty much on the same plane, so you don't really need to go too high with your aperture. And then ISO can actually be at 50. So I'm going to drop that to 50 because this is a photo, and then compensate with my shutter. So 1/13. I'm going to go ahead and then press my little button, little round button there to take my first image. Wonderful. And then you might even want to manually focus on exactly what you want in focus directly from the camera. So I've just tapped it to make sure that that's what's in focus. I'll take another shot like that. Those images will be here and ready for you. So I'm going to click on live to exit the live. And now I can have a look. These are upside down, so what I could do, command and bracket. And this is my unedited image. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, maybe I could probably raise that high just a little bit more. So I'll go into my live view to see what I'm doing in as I do it. And we're going to have different distances. So what's over here is going to be different to what's over there, and that's just going to add a little bit more interest as well, rather than having it too symmetrical. So now I'll go ahead and I will take that photo. Make sure that you remember to focus where you need to focus. and then command bracket, and that is our final image that we are now going to edit. Just a little bit about our setup today. So I've got my video light so that I could see what I'm doing in real time and how it's going to look like with that particular light. Because it's a video light, it's not very strong, and so I had to close all my curtains to make sure that we don't have any interference with other light. I have foam core boards that are blocking out the light coming in from that splashback window. I did leave a space open on purpose to create some fill light coming in of our scene here. I've got my camera on a tripod, and this has the ability to create an arm for the top-down shots. And then lastly, I've got my laptop stand, I have my laptop, and a tethering cable as well that's connected from my camera to my laptop. All right, let's jump in and get to editing.